Hello, you're watching the Data Drop brought to you by Unifeye. My name's Jeff Jones. I'm a senior data architect at Unifeye, and today we're going to be talking about attribute-based access control, or ABAC. So consider this scenario, maybe it's familiar to you. Your team governs hundreds of tables, and each table has different access policies based on department level controls, PII level, GDPR compliance, sort of regulatory reasons, and they're having to manage each one individually, and they're spending hours and hours and hours a week just going through access controls for each of these tables. There has to be a better way, and there is with Databricks ABAC. ABAC, or attribute-based access control, is Unity Catalog's automated access process that's based on metadata tags rather than individual permissions. You can kind of think of it like your access card for your office building or where you work. Based on your individual attributes, what department you work in, what level of security you have access to, determines what doors will or won't open to you. In Unity Catalog, you tag your tables and even specific columns with specific attributes like PII or EU users only, etc. And then you define your policies, and you define those once. For example, only people in finance can access finance tables. Only people with a certain GDPR clearance have unmasked columns with PII associated with them. And then when someone tries to query those tables or columns, Unity Catalog evaluates them and then presents the user with the appropriate data. For your business, this means having to administer 100 tables means not having to administer 100 access control lists. You just tag those tables and then the policies get applied to them. It's also super powerful when your user base have attributes modifying as they move through their time with your business. So if I started a business and I can't see PII information, that's fine. All PII gets obfuscated for me. But then if I move into a role where it's required for me to see PII information, that attribute gets added to my account, and then suddenly all those columns are no longer masked and I can see the actual values. It then shifts the workload of your governance people or your governance teams to, rather than administering access to specific tables, administering the policies themselves and making sure that they are appropriate for your business, fixing one policy that reaches across potentially several hundreds of tables and users. This becomes essential when you're managing several hundreds of tables, you're dealing with multi-region compliance requests like GDPR, and you're trying to scale out your data team. So something to consider is, how many hours a month are you spending in administering tables for access control? And how many mistakes have been made that expose you to compliance risks? Okay, that's it from me. Thanks very much for watching. If you liked that, there's plenty more content on our LinkedIn. And until next time, I'll see you on the next video.